Sure is. Hi, guys. Welcome to New Leaders. Y'all need help. I am Erika Genice. I have dope conversations with dope people. If you could please love this video, and don't just love it, you've got to share it. Even if you don't feel like this video resonates with you and you the best leader on earth and all that, listen, great. Okay, but some of your friends and your family, they're not. So please share this video, love and share. We're going to be giving away 2 books. Thank you, Colby, for sending me 2 books. I think that was so dope. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Maybe we could think about it. Maybe the first person who shares, the 5th person who shares. I don't know what we're going to do. But we got 2 books to give away. So pull up. Starting November 13th, I will be having dope conversations with dope teens. It's a program called Hey Gals. And in this program, we'll be talking everything about self-love, self-care, financial literacy, living healthy, emotional intelligence, all the things that we do on this platform, Colby, but in a more private sector with our gals. And so
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be dropping here soon. I'm super excited for it. More information to come. I'm sure you guys have been seeing it, but I'm super excited about it. We have Colby Lynn with us. She comes back again. Is that our second one, Cobes?
Yeah, this is our second one.
Okay. I think you were my first live, by the way. I think you were my first live. That was last.
I feel special.
My first live when I with the great resident, I quit my job and I thought I lost my mind, and I talked to you. You was like, no, it was good. It was
good.
Yeah. And look at us now. So
right.
And she holds her master's in health administration. She's a board certified executive coach, and she's also an author of How to Manage New Managers. And also talking to you the other day, you are in pursuit of your doctorate, which I had no idea.
Yeah, I got a year left. I don't talk too much about it because it's my baby right now, and people don't always want to see you do good. So
well, I want to see you do it. I know
Thank
anybody
you.
That's joining this platform. I told you, you think I'm saying I'm coming to your graduation. So
I'll let you know where it's at.
You better let me know. I'm so super proud of you.
Thank you.
Am. So I didn't even know you had all that going on, but you are juggling a lot.
Yeah.
And let me not forget our dope audience. Thank you guys for joining. You are part of the party for sure. Let us know, what city are you tuning in from? Where you at? Let's kick it off. I'm in Dallas. Where you at, Colby?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
She's in Pittsburgh.
As you can tell by the meshed accent. Sorry.
I love it.
I can't help it.
I can't help it.
We just are a mix of everything.
Yes. Let us know what city you're tuning in from. And what's your current occupation? Are you in a leadership position, or do you aspire to be, or no, not? It doesn't matter. Just let us know where you're from. And what's your current occupation? Let's see what we got going on. We got Houston in the building. What up? What's going on? We got Milwaukee. Listen, they coming in today. Y'all. Thank you. Come on, let us know what city you're tuning in from and what's your occupation. So, Colby, I like to start off with a quote. That's always my thing, man. Quotes are absolutely amazing. I think the human mind is just brilliant. So here's the quote that I'm going to start us off with. Leadership is not about control, but service. It's not about power, but empowerment. It's not about manipulation. It's about inspiration. And that's from Miles Monroe. He's a spiritual leader. I absolutely love him. He passed some years ago, but he's someone that I follow his teaching and I love him. Do you agree with that quote?
Absolutely. I think sometimes people get confused when they say, oh, I'm a boss. Like that. We use that language very loosely, but really it's not about control at all. Being a leader is about lifting other people's up around you and helping them become better at what they do, while you're still pursuing, new skills or whatever it might be as a leader yourself. So.
Yeah. And I think being in leadership myself, it is so not about you anymore. We'll dig into it later. That was probably the hardest thing that I wrote. It has nothing to do with you, and more about how you empower and inspire others. So let's get into the game. You got your cards, Colby?
Look, I got my girl, and then I got my, I'm ready. Make sure it ain't upside down, because I ain't trying to embarrass myself. You're like, Colby, that's upside down.
No, that was good.
Like, they be like, girl, she can't read.
Girl, she cannot read writing a book. No, ma'am.
Right.
So we're gonna play a game. Y'all know how we do. I want the audience participation. If you agree with the statements that I say, you're going to type, and Colby, you're gonna hold up the sign that says yes.
Okay.
If you disagree, you're gonna hold up a sign that says, girl, no ma'am. Okay, I need someone in the audience that's here, that's present, that heard me. Write that in the comments. If you agree with the statement, you're going to say yes, A's and S's, okay? And then if you disagree, you're going to say, girl, no, ma'am. Somebody drop that in the comments for me. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that this game is going to be cracking. Don't leave Colby out here by herself, okay? She wants your participation. Let's get it, Cobes.
All right.
The first statement. Extroverts make better leaders than introverts. Oh, I came out of the box with it. I've heard this before. Okay.
So this is why I'm going to say, can I give a reason?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is why I say no, ma'am. And it's not that extroverts aren't good leaders, because you can be. I don't think it matters whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. It just depends on how you utilize your strengths. So you could be either one. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. No hate on the extroverts. I'm not hating.
You don't hate? You ain't hating on me. Are you introverted? You definitely are introverted.
I'm low key. I'm real low key. Unless I gotta be out my shell, I'll do it. But for the most part, I'm not gonna make too much noise.
Yeah. So. Good. People leave managers and not companies. People leave managers, not companies. Yes. Okay. We got the no ma'am, girl, no ma'am. The introverts make better, extroverts make better introverts. People disagree. Good. So, okay. As a manager, you should deflect all credit and absorb all blame. Audience,
so
manager, you should deflect all credit and absorb all the blame. What's your thoughts on that quote?
Oh, wait. I understood that wrong. Sorry.
Okay. No, you good.
See? No.
Wait a minute. Okay.
So it's like middle. It's middle, right?
No, it could be either or. What's your thoughts?
So you always have to take accountability as a leader, right? So, but to always put all the blame on yourself, you're going to burn yourself out, right? Everything, like, yes, there's going to be things that you do that you should have done better, that you could have done better. But it's also about the people, your support system, your leadership above you, helping support you, so you don't have to absorb all that blame, right? Like, not everything is just a one person issue.
Yeah.
There's systemic issues. There's, policy issues in organizations. So like, if I do something wrong because a policy is telling me to do it one way, I can't absorb all the blame for that, because that's a policy and a corporate or organizational issue, right? So yes, take accountability where you need to take accountability, but also it's about that shared responsibility of making sure that things are taken care of the way that they need to be taken care of. So
that's good, Cole. Let me see what people say. Oh, yes, Cole. Oh, you the Cole. You Cole today. Come on.
Okay. They done got rid of the Y on my name. All right.
Come on.
Yes, nothing wrong with that.
Yes. Okay, good. Kim said, I love, yes, Cole. I love your explanation about blame and burnout. That is good. That's so good. Oh, she's shared responsibility. That hit. Totally agree, Jamaica said. Okay. Hire slow. So hire slow, fire fast. Girl, no, ma'am.
No.
No?
So it's the fire fast piece, right? There's some people that aren't good at their job, right? There's some people that get into the wrong field. There's some people that lack motivation. In those instances, people are still trying to find their way. So while you have to get to a point where, you have to hold people accountable for their decisions. And if that job isn't right for them and they need to go, then they need to go. But I don't believe in firing fast, because I think that also comes back on some self-reflection, right? Like if you're that person's manager, or, in that person's leadership hierarchy,
yep,
then I'm always about, let me reflect on myself about like what's not working with this person, right? Like if you're having issues with productivity, like I oversaw mental health programs who had productivity expectations.
yeah.
Okay, you're not meeting your productivity expectations. How can I help you? Like what isn't working for you? What's in your way? Is there a way that I can help you around that barrier? Like I'm definitely big on accountability. I'm not quick to corrective action. Like some people need it, of course, you're going to run into that, but I'm always about like, okay, what am I doing that's not working, that's not helping them? And then once I do that self-reflection, we make adjustments. If it's still not working, all right, now what aren't you doing, right? Like I did what I said I was going to do to help support you, and if things haven't changed, we need to look at what's going on with you. Right. And if they're not things that are that you're willing to change or that can change, I think it's time, it might be time for you to move on to something different.
That's so good. And I lead a team of 5 adjusters, right? And all 5 of them need 5 different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so big on, I'd rather keep you here. There's a reason why you made it to this level of adjusting. I want to keep you. So I'm going to adjust myself. How am I leading this team? How am I leading you individually to make sure that you're producing the best that you can produce? And I think that's where leaders mess up, is where they don't understand that it's really about the team. And not only the team, the individual. You have to manage each individual different.
Yep.
And, fairly, but different. I say it all the time. My team is very clear. Expectations doesn't change. From this person, I expect the same, but my delivery and how I coach you looks different.
Absolutely.
Let's see. It is better to be liked by your team than respected. Oh, she tried it. Oh, she's gonna hit you with that one hit her. That hit.
So this is where I'm very, like, this is one of my big boundaries that I have, right? Like, and I always say this, and I don't say it to be mean at all. And I know not everybody has the same perspective. The respect has to be there, right? Like, I don't care if you don't like me.
Yes.
I don't come to work to make friends. If we happen to develop a friendship or relationship out of that, that's great. But I don't come to work to make friends. So if you're not being in a leadership role, people aren't always going to like what you have to tell them, because you have to hold people accountable. You have to give people feedback. So you're not going to like me sometimes, but you're going to respect what I have to say, just like I'm going to respect what you have to say to me. So the respect is way more important to me than somebody liking me. So
that's good. Listen, girl, no, ma'am, girl, no. I'm not here for you to like me. Listen, that one right there.
Exactly.
You do not have to like me
at
all. It maybe it's good synergy if you do. That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You're going to respect me. I'm going to respect you. And I think long term, when you look at employees that stay at a job, it's not because they necessarily love their boss, but they felt like respected and wanted and valued, right? All of those things has nothing to do with me liking you.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with just integrity and how I move. You don't like me. And I think some newer leaders, and maybe leaders in general, really want everyone to like them. I want my team to like me. Because I did it, right? And so this, every live that I have is really because of things that I struggle with every single day. And we talked when I first got into, well, I was probably a couple years into leadership, but my first 3 years, I was like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? You know what I mean? It's such a hard adjustment from going from an individual contributor into a leadership role.
Yeah.
I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be accepted. And that didn't produce numbers though, at all. And so, yeah, leave that.
Nope.
Be who you are, right? Because I'm sure
exactly.
Bro, you're probably I think you should be a likable person just in general. Just being a nice person, being humble, being kind. But do you got to be my happy hour friend? No, I'm good. I'm cool. I got my friends for that. I didn't come here. I got a whole clique.
Right.
Y'all. Let's go, because we can get on this all day. Let me see. What people saying? Yep, Chandra D. That's hard for people pleasers inside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those people pleasers. It's not gonna work. You gotta let it go. So the last question is not question, but statement. Great managers create a collaborative environment.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me know, y'all, what y'all think. Great managers create a collaborative environment. Let's get into the questions, Cole, because listen, I didn't think the game was going to be going on like this. But you got to take some time to stop and think. And you got to talk about why or why not.
Yeah.
Cole, let's talk about what are some good characteristics of a good, so I have good and bad, but let's tackle good. 3 characteristics of a good manager. A leader.
Let's see. They're inclusive, right? You're inclusive of your team, different voices, being like diverse minds create great outcomes, right? So being inclusive of people in your decision making when it's appropriate, right? So there might be times that it's not appropriate. Being flexible and able to adapt. Like you said before, if you have people that you have a team of 5 people, but they all learn differently. They all receive feedback differently. You have to be able to adjust to those individuals to help give them the support that they need. And the other one I say is be comfortable pushing the boundaries. I think a lot of people get stagnant in their leadership journey because of that fear sometimes. Especially if we're mid-level managers, right? We're getting information pushed down to us. We're getting changes pushed down to us. And sometimes we don't push back. And I think it's important to push back, especially if you're working with the people that are doing the direct care or doing the one-on-one, right? And you see how it's affecting them. Some people at the policy-making level don't see that effect, right? So they're just shooting out ideas, shooting out changes, trickling down. And now you have to relay that to your team. And your team is like, oh, we can't do that. So you have to be comfortable pushing those boundaries sometimes, and sometimes saying, hey, like, I don't think this is a good idea, but here's how I think it could work. Like, I think that's the problem a lot of people do too, when they push the boundaries. They just say, no, we can't do this, without having a solution to how maybe it could work. People will listen to you more and be more open to hearing that feedback if you say, no, I don't think this is going to work, but after talking to my team or after doing some thinking, here's how we think that we can implement this a different way and get this, the positive results.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, sometimes higher ups make these decisions that have never sat at the seat of the people that it's going to directly affect. And I've heard it from time and time again, especially with I was an adjuster for 5 years and then got into leadership, but very much the changes and the higher ups have never sat at a seat as an adjuster. Yeah. You don't know. So before you make a change, talk to the people who it's going to directly affect. That's good leadership.
Yep.
Yeah. Bad manager, not so good manager.
Ooh. So
what's that list?
Yeah. Somebody that doesn't give others a space to grow, right? Like we talk about, I can't even think of the word, girl, it's Sunday night. Delegating. There we go. I couldn't even think of it. So we talk about delegating things, right? So some people have a fear of delegating to other people because they might not do it right, or we just want to do it ourselves. When you delegate things that can be, delegated to other people, you're giving other people an opportunity to grow, to learn something new. So whenever you don't do that, then that can be, that can become an issue.
So do you think it's about the control part? Like, I want to be a leader. I want to do it because you're not going to do it better than me, and I need to get it done, versus being able to lean on your team, to trust them to help you, because it's a partnership.
Yeah. I think it's control and fear. I know, some people have the fear of failure, right? So if I give it to this person, it's supposed to be my responsibility, but if I give it to this person and they don't do it right, now people are going to see me as a failure. So we gotta try to move past that fear, move past that control, because you're stifling other people's growth by not allowing them to shine, where they can shine. Like, if I have a spreadsheet that I need done, and I'm better at Excel now, but I wasn't always the best at Excel. I would have some staff like, hey, can you help me with this Excel? Like, I'm gonna need some help, instead of taking hours trying to figure it out on my own, when I can lean on people who have strengths in other areas that I don't have strengths.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. So we got delegation.
Somebody that automatically micromanages. That's stifling other people's growth too. Like, micromanaging, there are some people that need it, right? There's times where it is needed for certain situations, but it's not something that should not be a leadership quality that a person has. Because again, like, you're not allowing other people room to grow, to do what they need to do, when you're constantly hovering over people, and that's control. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so delegation, micromanager. Give me one more that you've seen. It's like, woof, this boss of mine, this is not well.
Not managing their own burnout, because that trickles down to other people, right? If I'm agitated about something, now I'm going to be agitated with you. And, I've had, this brings me back. I had a manager that was not doing well on her own space, got irritated at me because I couldn't do more, than what was on my plate at the time.
Yeah.
And she threw a pen at me across the table.
No, she didn't, Colby. Don't come on here telling them ain't nobody threw no pen at you. Could not. Oh, she did.
I mean, she threw it on the table, but at me aggressively on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my not so fun times that I've had. But yeah, like, you gotta manage your own self-care and your own burnout and your own mental health issues, and not put that on the people around you. So yeah,
that's good. Dope audience, let us know what are some characteristics of good and bad management that you've been through. I would love to read the comments out loud, but let us know. We've all have had good managers and not so good managers. I think we all have experienced that. So let us know. One of the questions that someone sent me, Cole, prior to this live, and it resonated with me as well, was many new leaders, they manage former colleagues, right? They were in a position and they got promoted, they got elevated into this new leadership role. In some instances, prior colleagues can be upset about it because maybe they were going against each other, or they just feel like a shift is going to happen. What are some tips that you have for managers that's overseeing people that they used to go to happy hour with? They used to take the girls' trip, the man trip, the trips, right? What do you have to say? Because it's a very sticky road to cross, and it's extremely uncomfortable. I've been there. What type of tips do you have for new managers to feel empowered in that area?
Yeah, so I've been in this exact situation. I was with my last organization for 11 years, and I moved from being, a mental health professional up to a site director, right? So I had 2 leadership positions within that move up before I got to site director. And I worked on a team a community-based outpatient team. We saw individuals in the community. They were all my peers. Then I moved up to a clinical lead position. Yeah. Now they're still kind of my peers, but I'm kind of in a leadership position. Then I moved to a team leader. So now I'm the team leader over all of my peers. So what I will say is I had a good relationship with my peers, and they were all actually supportive of me moving into that role. So that's one thing that was helpful for me. I did lose a couple friendships though. It's hard. There's no like black and white, like do this. That's going to make it easy, because it's not going to be easy. You have to prepare yourself for possibly losing some of those relationships that you had, because you have to hold people accountable, right? Things that you didn't see before while you were peers, you're now seeing as a leader with with somebody's work ethic or what might be. And you have to call it out, right? Like you have to talk about it. You have to have those conversations. And some people don't like that. So one thing that I'll say is always stay true to who you are, for sure. Yeah. Be that same person that you was when you were their peer. And be very careful of those boundaries. I didn't cut my friends off. I'm still really good friends with a lot of the people that I was over at that time. So it's really about being genuine. People can tell when you're not genuine. That would be my biggest tip. And don't shy away from holding people accountable, because now you're putting your own job in jeopardy, because you don't want to call out somebody for not doing what they're supposed to do, because that's your friend.
Yeah, that's good. Jamaica said one of her issues that she had was managers that have favorites, play favoritism. We've all and been there.
Yeah,
that's one of her things where she said it was not a good leader.
Yeah, and that's what you have to be careful of too. Like I said, whenever you're moving up from a peer to now somebody's manager or leader, you can be seen as playing favorites. Like say you didn't have that kind of a relationship with some other people on the team, but now they're like, you're spending more time with this person, whatever. You have to hold everybody to the same standards and the same accountability.
Yeah. Let's talk about your workbook. This was so good. Mm-hmm. How to manage as a new manager, daily activities to keep you focused on your leadership goals. Here's the book, guys. Here's the book. I'm so excited about this book. I'm going to go through this, just FYI, and I'll give you some feedback on how it works. I'm super excited about it, but let's dive into it. So your first section of the book is about professional development.
Yeah.
So there is a persuasive lack of leadership management training when it comes to a individual contributor going into a leadership role. What is your thoughts about how this training program or lack of training program has really been a detriment to people that's going into these new roles?
Yeah, I think a lot of organizations are very cut and dry with their training, right? They put together a PowerPoint. They put together like an hour training for you to watch. It's the mentorship and that's missing. It's the coaching that's missing. Like that's one reason why I got into leadership coaching, because I've seen the gap of where there was things missing in people's, development whenever they're becoming new leaders. So I think it's terrible. And I think every organization should invest in some type of leadership coaching, mentoring, whatever, for somebody that's new in a leadership role for at least the first year.
Oh, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think that sometimes we're just kind of put in this role and we should, supposed to figure it out, right? And that's that does not work at all.
Yeah, because you get the managers that are like, oh, if you need anything, come to me. Or you need, like, I don't know what I'm coming to you for. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So what am I coming to you for? Like, that's the issue, right? Like, so that's a problem.
So one of my biggest challenges my first couple of years in leading a team was attempting to manage everyone the same. And we talked about this a little earlier. let's talk about ways to manage different personalities. How do you manage and empower through someone who just has a not so good attitude? We work with these people, right? That they seem to come to work mad every day at everything, right? But you still have to manage these individuals. How do you manage the tough personalities and still get them to try to thrive in their role?
So working in the mental health field, I always take it from a perspective of there might be something going on outside of work, right? I don't always think that it's the job right offhand. It might be, right? But that's not always where I come from. So I always like having consistent supervisions with people is the number one thing that can be the most supportive for someone that you're overseeing. Being consistent. You know, if you say you're going to have supervision with somebody every month, you need to have supervision with somebody every month, because if you're missing a month here and there, whatever, they're going to pick up on that, and they're not going to care, right? They're not going to get anything out of it.
Right.
So being consistent in that space, consistently, like, you know, you don't want to overstep boundaries, but being consistent and saying, hey, like, I noticed you seem a little off today. I noticed it seemed like things might not be going, like, is there anything that I can help you with? Not automatically going to like, what's going on, right? Because then people might, if it's something at home, they're not going to tell you. And you shouldn't expect people to tell you that anyways. But starting out with like, how can I support you? Like, I see that you're struggling, right? Like mentally, you know, with your work, whatever it might be, like, I see that you're struggling. Like, I want you to know that I see you, right? Because when people act like that too, they might feel invisible. They might not feel included. They might hear their coworkers saying like, hey, we're going out to happy hour, and they just didn't get invited, right? So it could be the dynamics within the team that's really bothering them, and might not even be you. So it's really being genuine with people and saying, hey, like, if you're in a leadership role, you should care about the people that you work with. If you don't care, you don't need to be in a leadership role. Like, if you're out for yourself, you should be an entrepreneur, because and not worry about working with people, right? Like what's going on? Well, not what's going on, but like, how can I help you? And if I can't help you, how can I find a way for you to get the help that you need, right? Like, organizations have, well, hopefully most organizations have like EAP and different resources for employees, like outside of work, what's available at work. So, I mean, it's really like telling people that like, hey, I see you. I see something's not right. Something's bothering you. Can we talk about it? How can I help you? And then like, if things don't change, you still have to call it out, right? Like, say a month, 2 months go by, and I'm like, hey, I noticed there really hasn't been any improvement or any change in like your demeanor, how things are going. Like, what do we need to be talking about here? And let them lead that conversation.
I think a lot of leadership too is we take a lot of things personal, right? Right? This person like me, they're not performing, and you forget that this person is an individual.
Yep.
They have, you know, kids and a husband and a sick mom, or maybe they're sick or someone passed, and you don't know all of the things that people go through. And then they still have to show up to work. And so it's always taking this perspective of, it's not about me, but how can I best support you? And those questions aren't asked. It's about, your numbers suck. You're dragging the team down, and now you're on a performance, versus being like, how can I see you?
Yeah.
How are you best supported? That's probably one of my best questions that I ask my team. How do you like to be led? What does this look like for you?
Yeah, like I oversaw a team of case managers, and one of my best performing case managers was struggling for like 2 months. And, you know, I sat down with her. I was like, you know, I'm getting from the top down. They need to hit these numbers. What's going on? You need to do corrective action. And I was like, I'm not doing corrective actions. Like, that didn't work out well. But I was like, I'm not doing corrective actions, right? I eventually left because of that after 11 years. But like, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm not going to do, right? Like, I talked to her. She had a family member die. We lost a case manager that they left and went to another position, and one of our clients died, all within 2 months. Not one time did anybody from leadership, when I relayed that information back, the response was, everybody's getting burned out. They have to hit their numbers. That's when I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go, because you don't care. Like, if you don't care about the staff that's working with it, we're working with people that have mental health, drug and alcohol issues. If you don't care about our staff, you think that's not going to translate over to the clients? And we're trying to help clients, but this is a mental health organization and we don't care about the health of our employees.
Yeah.
So like that was one of my main reasons, for leaving that organization. But it's things like that. Like, I'm not gonna write you up because you just experienced 3 losses in 2 months, and I completely understand why your numbers aren't good. How can I help you get through this tough time?
Yeah, it's that.
You need PTO?
Yeah.
Do you need, like, what do you need?
Yeah, it's humanizing people.
Mm-hmm.
How can I best support you? How can I take some things off of you? How can the team support you? You'll be surprised that the team, individual contributors are about them selfishly, and not in a bad way, but like, my numbers matter. When I was on the team, I wasn't really worried about other people. I was trying to hit my number, get a bonus, move on. But if you came to me and said that Colby is struggling, okay, well, how can I help lift? How can I help support? You'll be surprised on how people want others around them to succeed. And as a leader, you have to be able to pull your people in and up when needed. And I think that leaders do such a bad job of not recognizing this. And again, it's the delegation too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Let's talk about, is there a particular it factor? Is there a particular it factor that you feel like a person would succeed as a leader? Is there something that they are innately born with, that this person is going to be a leader versus someone else? Or can anything or anyone be trained and mentored to be a great leader?
I think that depends on someone's support system. I think anybody could be a leader, right? If you want to be a leader and you're open to feedback, okay, so I'll say that's one of the main things that can make somebody a good leader or bad. Like, you have to be open to feedback. You have to be open to somebody knowing more than you, because some people get in positions and they think that they know everything, and they're not open to, constructive criticism or feedback or whatever it might be. So I think that anybody, can make the decision that I want to be in a leadership role. If they're surrounded with the right people, I think anybody could be a good leader. Yeah.
I think what it is that when you go into leadership, typically it's because you excelled tremendously as an individual contributor. So then you come in, it's like, I killed this. What are you talking about? I killed this role. I know all of this. I know how to let's just say an adjuster, right? I know all the jurisdictions. I know how to manage my desk. I know how to do it all. Okay. I was a 5-star every year for 6 years. And I think people go in the mindset of that's going to translate into me being a manager over adjusters. So far from the truth. No one cares. It has nothing to do with your expertise. Is how can you manage people? And I think that's the tricked up, right? When you think about a salesperson, they could sell all the cars in the world, the best salesman, right? And then they get into a leadership position and you can't even really talk to people. You mean, you do this, do that. That's not leadership.
It's not. And then it's also knowing what you're willing to deal with as a leader and what you're not, right? Like, when I was in my past role, after time, I was like, I don't like doing budgets. I don't like managing productivity. Like, I don't like this. I like being in a leadership role. I don't like doing all this other stuff, right? So I shifted to a different position, which is now still considered a leadership role, but I don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm so much happier than what I was before. So sometimes it's not even all about the title. Like, my title went from site director overseeing 6 teams to an assistant program director.
Yep.
The title doesn't really mean anything. Are you still in a leadership role? Are you still changing and helping people grow around you? I'm still doing all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm so much happier than what I was before. And I think a lot of times too, people get caught up in the title. Like, that's how I was. I was like, Director, top of my list.
Director. You gonna call me I'm Director Colby today. Matter of
fact,
I got there, call me DC. Okay.
Right. Once I got there, I was like,
listen, call me Colby. This a
right.
lot.
I was like, I like this part of it. I can't stand this part of it. So then I had to shift, right? So, and it's being okay with that shift, just because you move to a position that might not, when you hear it, might not sound like the same high level. If you're a true leader and you're getting out of it, you're still helping people doing what, it's not going to matter.
Yep. It's about empowerment. If you have the want to serve and empower people, that's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that if you're very much like it's about me, which is completely fine. I need people to understand that too. You do not have to be an entrepreneur, and you do not have to go into leadership. And if you want to just go in 9 to 5, I do me, I kill it, and I go home. And what's most important to me is my family and my husband and my whatever kids and all that, whatever. That's cool. You don't have to inspire to keep like raising the bar as far as leadership or as far as corporate ladder. And I think people need to feel that too. Because I mean, I've had adjusters that's been there 20 years and they're just happy as they want to be, child. They give me 7 to 3. I'm going to catch you the next day. I'm done. And they have other things going on. And that's okay. We need those people as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about your third section. I think I combined your third and your fourth together, but it was about balancing personal and work-life balance. I want you to talk about this because this is so extremely important. I think, you know, in this culture of no days off, sleep when I'm dead, you know, I'm a grind until I can't grind no more. You know, that becomes exhausting.
Yeah.
Can you talk to the people about the importance of having work-life harmony and the importance of creating this healthy life aside from your career?
Yeah. So I'm the queen of do too much. Okay. So let me just tell you a little bit about me first. I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I have a very active 16-year-old.
Yes.
I just got married in May. Yeah. I have a business. I have a full-time job. And I'm in school for my doctorate. The queen of do too much, right? Like I just pile it on. And over this past year, now that things are getting more intense with school, I was like, I got to cut something back, right? So achieving that balance that you need, you have to be okay with letting some things go sometimes. And my business right now is not my main priority because that was the easiest thing to cut back on. Granted, I still do work in my business. You know, if people seek me out or consultations or whatever, like I'll still do that. But I'm not actively promoting on Facebook like I used to, things like that, because it's too much for me, right? So you have to be okay with saying I need to pull back. And that doesn't mean you failed, right? That means that your goal is achieving balance and being with, if whatever your values are, like being with your family. I love, like, you know, I have a 16-year-old, I have a 2-year-old, 14 years apart. Yes. But
the struggle.
Like, right. I love going to my oldest daughter's soccer games.
Yes.
I'm not going to do nothing but go to my daughter's soccer games whenever she got, there's nothing else that's going to go in the way. School will be put aside because I'm going to go watch her play. My 2-year-old, because it's been so much time, you know, since I have a 16-year-old, I forgot what it was like to have a toddler. I forgot how fun and exciting it was. So I'm taking it all in, having a 2-year-old. Yes, it's tiring, but I want to remember every moment because it's been so long since I've had a child that's learning, like absorbing everything around her. So like that's what's important to me right now. My job, the stress level at my job is, it has its days, but honestly, it's not like my last job. So the work stress has come down a lot, right? And I'm a newlywed, right? Like I want to be, spending time with my husband, spend time with my family. So that's my values. And I'm okay with saying that my business is on the back burner right now because I have these other priorities that are more important to me.
Yeah. You'll get back.
Oh yeah, I ain't worried. I ain't
I
going nowhere.
ain't no way. No. And I think your workbook, even just looking at it, you could take that to so many different businesses from corporate to entrepreneurship, because it was so beautifully laid out and how to manage your day to day from month to month. And, there's so many people who want to be in these leadership roles and start a business, right? Because that's leadership too. And you have to know the foundations on how to move in that space.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being the expertise, but it's about being the expertise in managing and handling people. And I think the book beautifully outlines that.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think like I wrote it the way that I did because I think people don't always want to sit down and read a book, right? Like it's a workbook. It's to go at your own pace.
Yeah, it's super interactive too.
Right, and we're all our own leaders. If that's what you aspire to be, you're your own person, right? Like there's all types of books about leadership, what you should do with this and that, this whatever. At the end of the day, it's your own experiences. It's your own wins, losses, whatever. That's what you're going to learn from.
Yeah.
Like, so it's important, like the workbook is laid out so you could put all that in there, write it in pencil. You can come back to it and be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like you can switch it up. Like that's the whole purpose of the workbook. Like, and if you're busy too, you don't feel like sitting down and reading a whole bunch of books. If you just got done doing school, the last thing I wanted to do was sit down and read another doggone book. So I was like, let me write a workbook.
Yeah, I see this. I see, we'll talk offline, but I see this book I could even see you just having new leaders come together and we all just do the workbook together. We'll do a month sort of course where we all just work through this book. That's how amazing I thought it was.
Thank you.
Let's talk about a leadership mindset.
Mm-hmm.
New leader, first 30 days, 30 to 60 days in, right? 30 to 90 days in. What type of mindset would you encourage them to have?
You got to be open, like, because within that time you're learning your job and you're learning who you are as a leader, and you have to be okay with not knowing everything. You have to be okay with getting feedback, and okay with somebody telling you like, you didn't do that right, but like, here's, hopefully you have somebody, someone in a good leadership role around you that can be like, okay, you didn't do that right, but here's how we do it right. And this is, what to expect next time around. So you have to be open to that. You can't go into it. Like you said, you're hitting all the expectations at your role, and then you get a promotion up. You don't have the same expectations anymore. You might not have any of those expectations anymore, right? You now have to manage those expectations of other people if it's within the same, within the same line of work. So you have to be open. Like a closed-minded, I know everything leader, you're not going to go far, unfortunately. So
definitely got to be open. You have to be positive. I think that every day that I show up to my job, no matter what changes the organization has made, and even in my own business, right? Like with its own challenges, I still get to show up. And I still get to have a mindset of openness and positivity. And no matter what, right? Because you want to be able to grow. You're not an expert at this new role, right? I think like we said, right? When you're an individual contributor, you became an expert. And so now you got promoted, but you're not automatically an expert in leadership just because you were good at the role. And so throwing all that away, this is a new role, new people, new mindset, and being open and positive. And like you said, it's that feedback. Like I ask every one-on-one, my manager is absolutely incredible. And I'm always asking growth questions. What could I have done better? What is it that you want to see from me? How do you feel like my team's performing? How do you feel like I'm performing? And baby, she laid out like, on this. I think, let me tell you in my experience, what I've done. Let me show you the ropes, right? So I think too, being in a leadership position, having that person that you can, that mentor, like you said, and hopefully it's your reporting manager, but that's not always, we know that's not always the case.
Exactly.
And so having good men, I always seek out every organization I start, I have a mentor, everyone. Every single one. I'd be looking for folks. And thank God my manager for the first time is my mentor. Before I had to seek it from other different people. And so you have to get with people who has done this role, has been successful, and that can kind of show you the ropes. You can't do this by yourself. It's impossible. You don't know how to manage people until you manage people. And it's a beast. It's a beast. And let me add this. Don't take things personal, Cole. Come on. Pour into them with that one, Cole. That's the hardest one.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
I know. You gotta, so hard.
It is really hard. Like, there's been times I've sat at my desk in tears because I was like, I thought I had it and I don't have it. Or, you know, like this person on my staff is talking to me this kind of way. Like, and that's what I said, like that. But that comfort level just comes with time, right? It comes with experience. At first, when I was first in leadership positions, I was a mess. Like, nowhere near like and plus think about it from a maturity level, right? Like younger, I was like mid-20s first in my first real like leadership position. I feel like everybody a mess in their mid-20s. And life period, right? Like you don't think you are at the time, but like now looking back, like I'm almost 40 and I'm looking back like I was a whole mess and I did not know what I thought I knew. So like now I know going into things, I can't take it personal. I have to be open-minded. Like it's okay. And just be genuine, just stay true to yourself and your values and your morals. And if you're told to do something, especially because I work in the mental health field, if I'm told or asked to sign something or do something that I don't feel is within my morals or my integrity, I'm going to say no. And whatever repercussions come from that, I'm not jeopardizing my morals for no organization, for no person. So like, just stay true to your morals and your values.
Yeah. And know that you just have to keep the grind up, right? Like you have to just keep going. Like we said, we are in leadership. We started years ago. We were a mess, child. And I would argue, am I still? I don't know. I'm less messy.
Yeah, we all gonna have our moments, right?
But I'm less messy. Like I feel so empowered with my team. But a lot of it is just like the team building. And I'm, one of the things, Colby, I think I told you this. It may be one of our lives, our first live, was I was super like going into work with button-ups on. I bought a whole new wardrobe because now I was a team man. I'm not no bull. New Calvin Klein shoes, baby. I had button-ups and the express slacks. Okay, I gave it to him. The reality of it is that's not who Erika is. Erika is Jordan hoodie, tennis shoes. I can do a button up and some slacks. I can give you a suit, right? And I have it. But I was so much more authentic when I was me. So I remember there was one day my mentor was like, you need to be you. They're not going to fire you if you wear a hoodie. No one cares.
Yeah.
I went in with a hoodie and some jeans and my jacket. My team was like, okay. And I'm taking the numbers right off a spreadsheet, had a PowerPoint. This is where we're slacking. This is where we need to do better. I need engagement to be get. What's going on? I just was so me.
Yeah.
I think it's a word for leaders and just people in general to show up authentic.
Yeah. And be empathetic.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So show up authentic, be empathetic, and you will shine no matter what.
Yep.
Poppy, where can they find you? Where can they find you? This book, I'm gonna talk to you later. We're gonna set up a leadership. We're gonna do something with this book. I'm telling you. It's happening.
So honestly, I mean, if you look at my Instagram, just to be 100%, all you're going to see is my 16-year-old daughter's soccer videos and pictures. So, I mean, if you're trying to talk leadership, if you're trying to talk questions, please utilize LinkedIn. So it's
LinkedIn too. You do great on LinkedIn. Yeah. That's where we met.
It is. It is.
We did. I love LinkedIn. It's not talked about a lot, especially in the, well, I was gonna say Black community. Maybe that's not true. I didn't really get into LinkedIn until I got into my leadership role, and my mentor was like, "What are you doing? I need you to get over here and get some professional connections." And so
I mean, and it's still a social media site, so there's still its BS that it is on there, but like is what, Colby Jones, MHABCC.
Yep. And I'll put it in when we get off here. I'll plug it all in your contacts, and I'll put the link for your workbook, and I'll link up with you. But Colby, thank you for your time. You always give me your yes, no matter what. Thank you for your time. You literally outlined your entire life on this call, from the kids to the husband, the job to now the book. You have a lot going on. So the fact that you carved in 1 hour for me when you didn't have to.
Anytime.
I appreciate you. And thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope that this was informative. We will put it on YouTube if Colby so graciously allows me to.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'll do it on the replay. And I think it just was such a great conversation, as we always have. So thank you guys for letting me steal a little bit of your time. And Colby, we will talk soon, and great luck to everything. Kiss your family.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, y'all. Bye.